Welcome to Around the Clock. I'm your host, Yolanda Greaves. On today's show, we're going to be speaking with Tony Schiavi, the Ashland Town Manager, about the upcoming town meeting, which will be on November 17th. And then we're also going to have Joe White and Katie Shander Reynolds from the Ashland Community Theater here in the studio to talk to us about their upcoming production. We will also have our regular Selectmen's Update, our Around the Town tour, an arts and entertainment segment, and some upcoming events for you to enjoy at the end of the month. So stay with us and we'll be back with everything on Around the Clock. Welcome back to Around the Clock. Here's today's Selectmen Update. So we had a meeting on November 4th, not too long, but a very productive meeting. We talked about the property tax and had our property tax classification hearing. That's when we get the information from the assessor in regards to what the property taxes will be looking like for the next year. The assessment on most properties has gone up. For single-family homes, the assessment has gone up almost $20,000. Now what that means is the value of your home is more, and because we only can assess up to 2.5% of an increase, the actual tax rate per thousand is going down. But for each family and for each homeowner, their tax amount will probably go up a little bit. So the 2015 tax assessment was $17.30 per thousand, and for fiscal year 2016, which we are currently in, it will go to $17.01 per thousand. And that will be coming out in your next tax bill. You've had a tax bill already for 2016, but those were estimated. So as of your January 1 will be your actual tax rate based on this new rate and your current new assessment. We also talked about a pledge of a liquor license. We didn't really have to do anything. It was just our being made aware that Shays Liquor is using their liquor license to be able to get a loan to do the renovations that they've done in their location over on Pond Street. So go check it out and support a local business. We also heard from David Manoogian, our Public Works Director, about some new signs that are going up and a new way to slow down traffic. So on Cross Street, which is up off of High Street, they are going to be putting up one new sign, basically a blind driveway sign. And then on Whittemore Drive, which is also up off of High Street, there's been a number of accidents and some property damage, and it has been decided we're going to put in what's called as speed tables. There's going to be 2 of them put in place, not very expensive when we're working with the developer in the area to help do that. And then we're going to use that information to see what it does in regards to reducing speed on Whittemore Drive and see if we can use something similar in other areas of town, because we have been getting requests from people to help slow down traffic on some of the back streets that are not as wide. So keep your eyes open and ears, and we'll let you know as that program progresses. We also talked about an agenda for a downtown summit that's happening November 5th. So when you see this, it will have already happened. And the reason behind that summit is with the new mission and vision that the Board of Selectmen has created, one of the things we're noticing is there's a lot of great work going on here in Ashland, but sometimes it's done separate committees and not everyone working together. A lot of different committees and groups are looking at downtown. We wanted to bring them all together and make sure we can move forward with everyone working toward the same thing. We also tabled our discussion for 22 Elliott Street. It's a property that a developer is potentially going to be donating to the town, and we're trying to figure out what we can do with the house, what the state of the house is. But that has been tabled, and we'll be talking about that at one of our future meetings. We decided to support legislation about local housing costs. We were requested by Chris Walsh, one of the reps from Framingham, to see if we'd be willing to sign on to that, and we did. We discussed and voted our joint financial reserve policy. There were some changes to the reserve policy to include the funding for the new Special Education Stabilization Fund that was created back at the May town meeting. So as we head into our fall special town meeting, we take our free cash number and we divide that free cash into certain areas. So it goes into our stabilization fund, our OPEB stabilization fund, as well as our new Special Education Stabilization Fund, and then a certain amount of it also gets designated to do capital projects. And we'll be talking about that more with Town Manager Tony Schiavi later in the show. We also signed and voted to support the Information Technology Memorandum of Understanding. So our technology department between the general government and the school side has now become one department. A lot of savings both in regards to technology and time and money is going to be recognized as we sort of do an internal regionalization. So rather than keeping things separate from schools and general government, we're making it one department. It's already been going on. We just had to make some revisions to the Memorandum of Understanding. We had an update from Town Manager Schiavi on the town meeting, and he'll be reviewing that information with us as well. We also got a little refresher from Michael Herbert, our Assistant Town Manager, on enterprise funds and how they're used. An enterprise fund is a fund that has specific focus and goal as to what those funds are for. We have our sewage enterprise fund, our water enterprise fund, and we have our fields enterprise fund. Any money that goes in is specific for one of those three things, and it can only come out specific for those things. We also had a meeting back at the end of October that was not televised, and a good part of that discussion was talking about our mission and goals again, and just talking through who's going to be handling certain projects that we have on our goals and objectives list. If you want more information, some of that is now up on the town website. Of course, our next meeting will be town meeting on November 17th, and then we'll be also having a meeting on Wednesday, November 18th, before we head into the Thanksgiving holidays. Well, that's it for the Selectmen Update. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Around the Clock. We are here with Town Manager Anthony Schiavi to talk about the upcoming town meeting. Tony, welcome back to Around the Clock.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Town meeting comes roughly about every 6 months, so this is our annual time to do the fall special town meeting, and it's lining up to be a pretty great event.
So how many articles are we looking at for this town meeting?
Well, if you don't consider town reports, we have 11, I'll call substantive articles that the town will be voting on through the course of the evening.
Okay. Can you want to take us through
Sure.
them? And
Yeah, so the first one is some adjustments to our FY16 appropriations for the budget. Some of that is to move some money out of the salary reserve that we had as part of our contract negotiations with our employees. So we've closed some of those contracts, so we moved those monies into the appropriate accounts. And then some other adjustments. Probably the big one in there is to establish an HR department. It's something that has been an initiative of ours. I know the selectmen, it's been an initiative with you. I mean, today, human resources is such an important part of any organization with employees coming and going, benefits. It really needs to be a professionalized part of our organization. And right now, it's really just split up between a number of different offices. Some of it, Michael and I are even doing. And we need to eventually, through this, get to an actual HR department for the town.
And I think what people sometimes don't realize is that on the general government side, we handle many of the things for all the employees, including school employees.
That's correct. And we want to partner with them as well because they actually have the majority of the employees in town. So it'll include benefits and all that, which right now is split up. And we do all the benefits for all the employees, including the school employees as well. Okay,
and moving on then to the next one?
Yep, so the next one is our what we call our free cash allocations. We did get our free cash certified this year. It was $1,034,083, which is about 2% of our general government budget, which is actually a little bit low compared to what the best practice is of trying to hit about 3 to 5%. That money is made up of either revenues that come in higher than what we estimated, although last year we hit our revenue estimate at 99.54, I think it was, which is actually a little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah, that's almost a little scary to be that close on your revenue numbers.
Yeah, it is. So that's something we'll take a look at. And then if your expenses are less than what you actually appropriated is what makes up your free cash number. And so we just signed last night. The selectmen signed the stabilization policy for the town for free cash, which essentially will shift a little bit what we had done before. We'll put 60% of our free cash into our general stabilization fund, our rainy day fund, 15% towards capital, 15% towards OPEB, and then 10% towards our Special Education Stabilization Fund, which was new last May.
Right, that's the one we created in May to help with some of the special education costs that the schools deal with annually that they just can't control very well.
Correctly, for their out-of-district
Right,
costs.
out-of-district.
And because it fluctuates throughout the year, they can't really anticipate it
Right.
fully
Okay.
when they do their budget. Next is the annual property tax exemption, the 41C.5 for our seniors. And so the assessors briefed the selectmen last night through
Yep.
the tax rate hearing process, and then the 41C.5 will be set at 8.75%, where we roughly try to hit about $500 as part of that exemption. And this,
Right.
for this year, it'll be $514 at 8.75.
And I think we in Ashland are fortunate that that are willing to do that, because I
Sure.
did notice that there are a couple of other towns that have
That
stopped
don't.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great program for our seniors, and you know, any little bit of help is good help.
Right, okay, and then moving on?
So the next one is Affordable Housing Trust. That's a CPA article, Community
Okay.
Preservation Committee for the Affordable Housing Trust. They're asking to transfer $450,000 out of the affordable bucket of CPC over into their trust.
Right.
And so Steve Greenberg will be talking to that article at town meeting in terms of what they plan on doing with that money as they continue to work with their affordable units across town, some of which are ownership units
Right.
that the town
Right.
owns.
Okay.
Next, we have an acceptance of real property. The town signed a development agreement with Bob Gaynor and Magunko for the Rail Transit District, whereby we negotiated approximately a 5 to 6 acre piece of property, about 12 to 1,700 feet in from Dunkin' Donuts
Right.
on the MBTA access road for a potential public safety building and/or some other municipal use. We're in the process of looking at public safety building. We have a
Right.
committee that the board stood up. And of course, part of that process will be to look at where's an appropriate parcel in town to actually place that. So it's not a foregone conclusion. This will be where it's at, but it is a piece that is in the consideration, and
Right.
of course, it's a gift. So when we're putting together a project that's, you know, anywhere between $15 and $17 million, you have to include the land costs in that if you're going to go out and
Right.
purchase a piece of property. So it'll give us some options anyways.
Well, and the fact that he's been working so well with the town to
Sure.
create everything so that he's gifting the property to us
Correct.
is a nice benefit.
Yep.
Okay,
And then the next one is to repeal a bylaw, the 281A, which is called youth activity. And this was a difficult one because it's really a bylaw that we have that restricts essentially sex offenders on where they can be related to where youth activities are occurring. And there was a recent court case, and I'm sure Lisa Mead, our town council, will talk to this at town meeting,
Right.
in the city of Lynn, where the Supreme Judicial Court struck down local bylaws that are more restrictive on sex offenders than what the statutes allow.
Oh, wow.
And so this is to ensure that, one, we're in compliance with the law, and two, we don't take on any additional liability by having a bylaw that we actually can't enforce and if
Okay.
something were to happen. So it's a request to repeal that bylaw.
Okay,
Amend the town bylaws related to sort of junk vehicles, vehicle
Right.
storage. It's an area the selectmen have talked about for several months now. A number of years ago, the town adopted the statute,
Right.
but never adopted a fine structure. And so we're trying to put a number of tools in our toolkit to deal with these problems when they arise. And because right now, all we can do is go right to a criminal matter, essentially,
Right.
through the court system. And this will give us a number of different options, from fines that we can assess and so forth.
okay,
The next one is to transfer care, custody, and control of a portion of the front part of Warren Woods. We have the 101 acres, and then there's 16 acres that's currently under the care, custody, and control of the Board of
Board of
Selectmen.
Selectmen, right.
You all took a vote some time ago to transfer approximately 15 acres of that over to the Conservation Commission, which will eventually result in a conservation restriction of that 116 acres,
Right.
or 17. And then a 1 acre envelope is carved out of that that'll stay with the selectmen for potential future use and activities as
Right.
the board.
And that 1 acre is around the front shed and the parking area
In
there?
the parking area, yes.
Yeah,
Yep, and we have
okay.
it all roughly mapped out. And then when we get to do the CR, we'll actually have to have a survey done to formally mark the delineation of where that is.
Okay,
Board of Health has an article this year to amend the tobacco bylaw, tobacco sales bylaw. Before, they had a fine structure that was, all the different types of fines were all included sort of in one. And they've split those out, and they've actually changed the fine. So you have, you know, a signage, you know, if you have signage issues, if you have sale to minors, that's a separate section. And so this will actually break it out and expand it to the different types of violations that you could have related to tobacco sales.
Okay.
Let's see, the West Union Sewer Transmission District, part of the MassWorks grant that we received back in 2013 was to put a sewer line upgrade along the West Union Sewer Transmission District, which is essentially from Dunkin' Donuts, sort of cross-country down to the down to the Chestnut Street pump station.
Right.
And that'll require a new sewer line that's put in. Part of that project will go through Ashland Commons by President's Row, and so we need to make sure that we have control of the property that we need to
put it through.
To put it through,
Right.
yeah. And they tie into that, so I think there's a benefit for them as well, and,
Yeah.
and they're aware of what we're doing. And then lastly, probably the biggest one that most folks are not, necessarily as well informed as maybe some of these other ones, has to do with a purchase of property that the selectmen have been discussing in executive session for a number of months now, related to the sale of the Northeastern Warren Conference Center. And so what this article is, Article 12, is for the town meeting to consider the purchase of roughly about an 1.5 acre piece of property that encompasses the historic barn and the silo directly across from Warren Woods,
Right.
To ensure its future preservation for historical reasons, scenic reasons, all the right reasons.
Right.
And so we hope the town meeting will authorize a very small borrowing. We should have a price on that here today by this afternoon.
Okay.
Which is Thursday the 5th, this afternoon, so we'll have a price for that, a very
Right.
small borrowing, but one that will ensure the future preservation of a very historic part of Ashland.
Right, and of course, now that the news has gone out that Framingham State is purchasing, or they still have to sign a P&S,
Correct.
but there's a good chance that they'll be purchasing the Warren Conference Center from Northeastern, and we've been having conversations, and we will continue to have more with them as they move into Ashland as the steward of that property,
Right.
and try to create a good partnership like we had with Northeastern to maintain what's there, and I think that's very important to a lot of residents.
Yeah, it is, and I think we'll see actually a stronger partnership. I mean, Framingham State's actually going to do education, which I think is a really
Right.
great thing, to actually have a university that's doing education, teaching classes right here in Ashland, whether it's hospitality, which they would be the first state university to have that, but also earth science, biology. I mean, it's just a great place both there and across the street on our property. So I think when the board develops its memorandum of understanding with Framingham State, I think we'll have a much closer partnership, and that's one of your goals for
And
the
they're
year.
looking. Framingham State is possibly looking to bring some of their sports to the fields that are there.
Title IX for women,
so,
yes.
we could be seeing some more activity and more things going on that
Sure.
people can go and participate in and
Absolutely.
watch. So
Yeah,
good.
so we are doing one forum,
Okay.
and it's actually going to, I think, the day this airs, so it's
Okay.
on November 10th,
Okay.
7 o'clock at the
Okay.
Senior Center. We'll be putting out a Blackboard Connect, and we'll have it up on the website before the end of the week,
Okay.
just to let folks know. It'll be in the Metro West Daily News sometime between
good.
now and Monday.
Okay, good. And it's November. Any other news or anything else you'd like to share with the viewers of Around the Clock?
I do, and it's a tough one to talk about, but I'll be leaving Ashland right after the first of the year, which was a really hard decision to make, but one that it was an opportunity that I really couldn't afford to give up, because sometimes those things don't repeat themselves. So I'll be leaving in January to go back to the Cape. And run for state senate in the Cape and Islands district. So a lot of heartfelt moments the last couple weeks trying to make a decision like that with the family and everything considered, because I've come to love Ashland, care for the people immensely, and I won't be too far away. And but it's
We all
I'll
have
put
your
more
phone
out.
number.
You have my phone number, and please use it. But I'll be talking around town. I just want to make sure people understand. I love it here. I'm totally happy here. So I mean, it didn't have anything to do with that, and more just something on my bucket list, kind of that I knew I would always run for higher office at some point.
Well, and I think, those of us, who have known you and work with you closely and just watched you grow as a town manager, appreciate everything that you've done for Ashland, and it's certainly Ashland's loss, and hopefully you are successful, because anyone who gets you in your next step is going to be
Well, thank you.
very, very thankful, and they're going to really have a great person. So, well, thank you for working with us here at Around the Clock.
You're welcome.
And good
And,
luck
it's
on
an
your
awesome
run.
show, award-winning show.
Award-winning show,
and,
and
keep raising that bar.
Okay,
That's
we will.
That's the key to everything.
that's
Yep.
right. That's right.
All right.
Okay, well, thanks again.
All right, thank
Okay.
you.
Stay with us and we'll be back with more Around the Clock. Welcome back to Around the Clock. As part of our arts and entertainment this show, we are speaking with Joe White and Katie Shander Reynolds from the Ashland Community Theater. Katie and Joe, welcome to Around the Clock.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Joe, this is a welcome back. We've spoken with you a few times before. And Katie, welcome. It's nice having you.
Thanks, I'm excited to be here.
So, we're here to talk about your upcoming show, Therapy Sessions. Who wants to start with how it all started?
Go ahead.
Well, as I recall, it started with Joe, who had the sort of the theme in mind for the next show, and we sat down and brainstormed ideas related to therapy, and then we kind of put it on the back burner for a while because we were doing our summer project, and then we kind of pulled it out and said, hey, let's see what we're going to do with this, and we divided and conquered in terms of the writing, and here we are.
Yeah, the difference I think between this show and some of the other shows is that this is the first time we're still doing the short vignettes that we've done in the past, but this time we threaded the characters throughout the entire show.
Oh, okay.
So the show's about 4 therapists, and they're a family of therapists that are working together, and they're interesting patients that they come across throughout that entire day. So it's a one-day show. It's a one-day show in which those 4 therapists go through. So it's an end-to-end show for the first time.
Okay.
But
It's a play.
still within the scene.
It's a play?
It's a
It's still a play.
Okay.
But it's still within the short vignettes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are 6 scenes, and I think our goal was to make sure that there were some roles that were contained entirely in one scene for some actors who don't have the time or the inclination
Right, to do a lot.
to do
the
a
whole
lot
show.
and have a lot of lines and a
Right.
big part to play. So, but there are several characters who appear from beginning to end.
And how many actors and actresses are you working with on this show?
23. This is the
Wow,
largest we've had.
That's a
yeah.
big cast.
It
Yeah,
is,
it is.
yeah.
And one of the reasons that we like it is, as Katie was mentioning, is having the shorter scenes. It enables more people to be involved because of
Okay.
a time commitment.
Right.
As community theater, it's not paid, obviously, so
Right.
you're coming in and you're donating your time and effort to it. But if you tell someone they're going to be in it for a short amount of time, and the time commitment isn't as significant, they're more apt to do it.
Right.
So we were able to get 23 actors, and we've got some actors that were from our first show coming back. So it's really exciting to work with some people again, and we have about 4 or 5 new people as well again, so I'm really excited.
Lots of Ashland residents involved, or?
Yeah.
Yes, many.
Yep, many Ashland residents involved. We're expanding a little bit. We've some people from Framingham have heard about us, and so it's exciting. Yeah.
We have cast members. I think our farthest trip for a cast member is Cambridge.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
We have
Yep.
someone from Wellesley
Yep.
this time.
Yeah.
and-
And the age range this time? Any kids or?
Yeah, I think our
Teens.
youngest is 14,
Yep.
and
And then I'm 107, so whatever that goes. So, so that, about no, we got 85. Ours was our cap. Who's
Oh,
been-
That's your cap, or you have someone who's
That is-
85?
No, I
Cap
shouldn't say. The gentleman's name is Cap. He played in our
Okay.
intern show.
Yeah.
If you
Okay.
remember seeing it, he played Saul Rosenthal,
Okay.
and he is making a reprising role in this as Saul again. So
Oh, nice.
popular demand. People
Okay.
have wanted him back. So
So what are some of the challenges? Ashland Community Theater hasn't been around that long. What are some of the challenges that you're facing in just getting the group going and keeping it viable?
I would say one of the challenges that we face is finding rehearsal space. Not on the weekends we have Anne Marie's dance studio. They've been phenomenal, letting us use that space. But we like to get together during the week to have small group rehearsals. So finding a place where everybody can gather during the week and finding a time when everybody's available to gather
Right.
is challenging. We have people who work days. We have people who work nights in restaurants, and so that I think is, to me, the most difficult piece of it is trying to get the rehearsal schedule organized so
And
that
certainly
everybody
with
can.
a cast of 23, that's got to be challenging.
Yeah.
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 Another aspect that's challenging for us is the ability to make sure that we get the word out that we exist. I mean, we've done, this is going to be our 4th show.
Yep.
And it still worries me that will anybody even come the nights of our show? And word is out. We post things on Facebook. I try to minimize the advertising budget, but it's expensive to put things in the paper.
Right.
But we do get publicity from people like yourselves
Yeah.
and people from the town who write up our articles in the Ashland Directions and the town news, so that's good. But I always worry that, is word of mouth enough?
Yeah.
We post our signs up around town. We'll be doing that tomorrow. So
Okay.
that to me is my biggest challenge, is how do we get the word out that we exist and have people come out and see us? Because
Right.
these actors have done a phenomenal job of working on this over the last few months, and I want to give them the opportunity to perform in front of a fairly significant audience. So.
And it's going up at the middle school.
Yes.
Any challenges that you face at the middle school?
Not really. I mean, Rich has been fantastic coming
Yeah.
down and doing the pre-check of the lighting. We'll be down there actually November 12th, starting then, a week before the show, to work on the stage and lighting. But it's been accommodating. It's an intimate theater. I think it's been fine for us. It's the only place we've ever been, so
Right,
we don't know
right.
any different. But the technology there could be improved, I think, from both from a lighting and sound perspective. I think it could be a little bit better.
Now, I'm going to go back a little bit. You guys did do a very big project over the summer.
We did.
We did.
And what kind of feedback did you get? And I know you're trying to do something with that project.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Are you willing to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, we love talking about that.
Oh, okay.
You can't stop it. We can't stop it.
Yeah, so we sort of, we ended up doing something over the summer that we hadn't really planned on and hadn't anticipated doing. We made a mini-series.
Right.
And we wrote it, and we cast it, and we filmed it all here at WACA-TV, which was awesome.
Absolutely.
And we had an absolute ball, learned a lot. And I feel that we ended up with a pretty solid product. So we haven't had a lot of feedback yet. Our friends and our family have seen it.
Right.
And I've heard a lot of positive feedback about what they have seen. And we're feeling really positive about how the premiere went when people came in, and the people who were here that night
Right.
had positive things to say. And I'll let Joe talk about what's to come.
Well, never to be satisfied with what we do. I was able to work with Amazon to open up an account under Ashland Community Theater and be able to take the fine work that Katie just mentioned and create the ability to download the material. And we can sell that online, and it'll be out there hopefully soon as Paul and Barbara upload all of the final product into Amazon. And we can sell that, and profits will go to the Ashland Community Theater, and also a portion of the profits will go to WACA-TV as co-producers.
Wow.
So it's exciting. So if anybody's out there is interested in seeing the summer project, hopefully go to Amazon.com and look for the interns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so just wrap up. Therapy sessions happening November 19th, 20th, and 21st at the Ashland Middle School, which is
Yes.
on West Union.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So, Katie, this is your first time on the show,
It is.
and I'm hoping Joe didn't spoil this for you.
Oh,
when
I
I
did
have
not. I did
when I
not.
have a first-time guest, there's a question I like to ask.
Uh-oh.
It's not that hard.
Okay, all right.
Is there something about you, Katie Shander Reynolds, that you would be willing to share with our viewers that not too many people might know?
Oh.
See, I did not spoil it.
Something that not too many people know
Something about you that
me.
not many people know that you're willing to share.
I'm kind of an open book. I'm not a very secretive person. So let's see.
Anything in your past, anything in your
Future. Can you-
history, or that?
what are you going to be doing
I'm not
next
a
year?
medium. So let's see. I don't really have that interesting a life. This is very sad.
Wow.
Something that you used to do that people don't realize that you did, or Joe shared with us that he tried out for a baseball team.
Yes.
But I went with two because I'm
He
so
did
I'm
have
an
two,
ego.
yeah,
I'm an ego
you know.
guy. Yeah.
Yes.
He's such a go-getter.
I guess no. I honestly I can't
Dance?
really think of
Where
anything.
you grew up, what you
I
did
grew
as a
up.
kid.
I grew up in. Well, I was born in Alaska.
That's good.
Okay.
That's unusual.
Probably not
Can
everyone
you see
knows
Russia
that.
from where you were, or no?
I don't remember. I was an infant when we left. I lived a lot of different places as a child, but we moved here when I was in third grade to
Here being-
Brookline.
okay.
I grew up in Brookline. I did grow up dancing with the Boston Ballet.
Oh, okay. Did you ever do their
So-
Nutcracker?
Oh, every year.
And what parts did you do?
Well, let's see. I was Apollo Chanel, under Mother
Yep,
Ginger
under the
skirt,
Mother Ginger skirt.
twice. I was the bunny rabbit. They used to have a bunny
Yep.
rabbit in the battle scene.
Yep.
I was a soldier. I was a girl at the party, a party girl.
So once you get her going, she
I was a
doesn't- she
hoop.
doesn't stop.
This is a part
Yep.
they don't have anymore.
Yeah, they've changed their choreography
Yeah,
recently.
the peppermint stick scene.
Yep.
I loved that. Was my favorite part. And then I was in Sleeping Beauty also
Okay.
several times.
So do you still dance at all, or?
No, it's sadly I have not danced since I was in my mid-20s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You can always go back.
I could.
You know,
Yeah.
find that adult ballet class.
Maybe we
Yeah.
can write a show about dancers instead
Oh,
of therapists.
let's not do that. No,
So I was already writing it in my head, so.
no. Yeah. So sorry that wasn't that interesting.
That's okay. No, the fact that you were born in
Not as
Alaska,
good as
not,
Joe.
not many people that I know have been born in Alaska.
Yeah.
So.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, Dad in the Army will do that.
that would do it.
So.
Okay. So, Ashland Community Theater therapy sessions, November 19th, 20th, and 21st at the Ashland Middle School. Go check it out. It's always a great performance. Thank you for being on Around the Clock, and I hope you have a great run.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Bye.
And we'll be back. As we head into November, we want to show you how Ashland wrapped up October. Back on October 23rd, we had the opportunity to get some footage of the pep rally that was heading into the homecoming game. This event is always a nice send-off to our senior football players and cheerleaders, and it's great how they include the families in the send-off. Let's take a look. On our previous Around the Town segment, we did a story about the naming of the high school athletic field and track after William Bill Kunis. The naming and ceremonies happened during the homecoming game on the 23rd. During the live reporting, it was stated that Bill Kunis had not played football. Upon reviewing the information, it was discovered that in fact Bill did play football at Ashland High School. No disrespect was meant, and we apologize for the information that was stated. And we want to congratulate again the whole Kunis family on the naming of the track and field after Bill. A library for the Halloween parade also on Friday, October 30th. This was sponsored by the Ashland Day Committee with support from our fire department and police department. There were over 300 children that came in costume and participated in the parade and the events at the Mendez School. Let's take a look at the footage and see if you can find yourself in it.
Good chance to get everybody.
thanks to the Ashland Day Committee for sponsoring this fun and safe event. I do remember many years of attending, and they've been doing this tradition for over 15 years. On Halloween Day, we headed out to Marathon Park, where it all started, to take in the Ashland Half Marathon. The marathon is another example of volunteers helping to accomplish great things in Ashland. I saw members of the Lions Club and students helping out with the managing of this event. Let's go take a look. We're here at Marathon Park, where it all started. That's right, the original start of the Boston Marathon. Today, it's the start of the Ashland Sporting Association Half Marathon, 5K, and 1 mile fun run. Lots of activity going on, all kinds of people dressed in costume because it is Halloween. So we're going to show you all kinds of fun events and things that are happening here at the Ashland Sporting Association Half Marathon. Stay with us. We are here in a sea of green, very bright fluorescent green. This is a group. Are you all from Ashland?
Yes.
No. Okay, not everybody. Give us your name
My name is Brett Rothschild.
and tell us what this group is.
So we did a Couch 5K group. We coached this awesome group of runners over the last 10 weeks, and a lot of them started from not even being able to run 10 seconds, and now they're able to run 3 miles. So it's really exciting.
Now, obviously, this is not your first 5K. You've done this.
Yes.
How many of these kind of coaching groups have you done?
So I've done a couple of them, but this is my first 5K group.
Good. So, who wants to talk to me? You were stepping up before. Give us your name.
My name is Kathy,
And-
and I'm one of the 10-second people she was talking about. But now I can run almost the whole thing, and it's been fabulous. It's been, life-changing. I can't wait for next year.
Good. And is this now something you'll keep doing? You'll keep running?
I hope so. I don't know. Truthfully.
You
It's-
got to
it's
start
awesome.
from something,
Yep,
so
it's
that's
awesome.
great.
But she's a great leader. I encourage everybody to do it next year. Everybody.
We're talking with different runners. This is Aram from Natick. Aram, welcome to Around the Clock.
Thank you very much.
So, what are you dressed as?
A caveman.
So, Aram, where are you from?
Natick.
And is this your first time doing the Ashland Half?
It's my first time doing the Ashland Half, yes.
Have you run other marathons?
I have run other half marathons, 10Ks, things like that.
What inspired you to come run this one today?
It was in the right place at the right time, and I was foolish enough to sign up.
Well, good luck, and we'll maybe find you at the end. Have a great run.
Thank you.
We've just run into Mary Beth Morrissey. Mary Beth, you're running. Good for you.
I'm going to give it a shot today.
Are you doing the 5 or the half K?
I'm doing the 5K.
Good for you.
Yeah, they changed the course this year, so we're going to be uphill a little bit. So hopefully I'll be okay.
You've run some 5Ks before?
I have. I've run the Ashland 5K a couple times.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Well,
always
and
a
I love
beautiful
your
day.
costume, your shirt, and your
Shirts are great.
perfect colors, and
Yes, happy Halloween.
dead. We're out in front of the starting line of the half marathon. There's probably about 500 people lined up for this race. We're looking for it to start soon. Hope you enjoy the run. Back to the photographer.
a very interesting group, and they're just here for the booze. Well, you know, it is Halloween, so you got to be able to say boo. Ladies, tell me your name and why you're running. And first of all, what's the name of your group?
Party animals.
We're the Party Animals. Party Animals, appropriate for today.
I'm Julia Chase, and I am running to make sure I can run at least one 5K a year. This is my one 5K.
There you go.
My name is Amy Childs, and I'm running because it's fun to get away with my friends.
Well, the other reason you said was to get away from your kids, which, you know, okay, it's okay to say that every once in a while.
It's because I want to get away from my kids for 3 miles. So, I'm Nancy Duffy, and I'm running to try and have a reason to stay in shape.
I'm going to pass you the
All right. I'm Shannon Frias, and this is my first 5K, so that's why I'm running. Yay! So today's training day. Yay!
I'm Kate McDonald, and I do it just to stay in shape and set a good example for my kids.
I'm Megan Clark. I'm a teacher in town, and I'm hoping I'll see some students along the route.
So how many of you are from Ashland? You're all from Ashland. Great. Okay, well, good luck. Love your shirts. Have a great run, and thanks for talking to us. Okay. We're here with Steve Greenberg, the president of the Ashland Sporting Association. They are the organizers of this Ashland Half Marathon. The runners are off, Steve. Where are things at?
Well, I think we're at the beginning of the end of the run, and we got about, I think it's about 850 runners in total today. We sent the 5K off in a different direction this year, which is different, and I'm pretty confident that'll go well. You know, everybody in town, the supporters, the volunteers, you know, it's really all about their effort in getting this thing done. But we got great weather today, and I think folks have a lot of fun. We got a bunch of stuff going on out back. So we hope it's a nice family fun day.
Well, it's been fun seeing all the costumes. We've talked to a couple of people in costume as to what their costumes were. So I think you've created a really great energy, and I think it was a great idea to have it on Halloween.
Yeah, I think we'll continue with that. One of our committee members, Allie Carlton, is Wonder Woman, and she's been terrific. And Terry Weiser and Merle Kunis and all the folks on the Sporting Association. And a special thanks to the Metro West YMCA for their efforts. The sponsorship this year goes to kid programs in the schools, after-school programs that they run. So that collaboration is new for us, and I think it's a very positive thing. So it's, you know, hopefully it's a good thing for everybody.
Well, good. Thanks for taking a few minutes to speak with us, Steve. I know you have a lot going on, and we look forward to watching the runners come in.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
Bye.
We're here at the finish line of the half marathon and the 5K, and we are speaking with Amber Holden. Amber is 12 years old. Can you tell us a little bit about your running career?
Well, I've done triathlons and like runs like this since I was around 6, I think. Yeah.
And what got you started in running and triathlons?
Well, my dad, he did them and he became a coach, so I kind of was like, ooh, I kind of want to do that too.
What are your upcoming plans?
I want to do the Boston Marathon when I can, like whenever I'm old enough. That's my goal.
Well, that's our coverage here at the Ashland Half Marathon. We hope you've had a spooktacular time watching everything that we've gotten to show you today.
As part of the coverage of the half marathon, I had the opportunity to speak with Gloria Bennett Van Buskirk. As you may remember from a previous season, Gloria has been dealing with a debilitating disease that has affected her and her family greatly. And it was so nice to see her out and walking as part of the fun run. Here is what she had to say to us that day.
We're here with Gloria Bennett. We've told Gloria's story. Gloria is an Ashland native, has born and raised here. She actually ran the half marathon 3 years ago, had an illness, and she came back and was able to walk the 1 mile. Gloria, like I said, this is an amazing story to me. How are you feeling being able to do this?
It is amazing. I can't believe that I was able to do it this year. I've been working really hard, but our town is amazing. It's a great place to live, and there are amazing people that live here. My husband, Jason, is running the half. My mother, Claudia Bennett, she just walked it with me. She's an amazing person. This is my son, Bennett, Dash.
Hi, Dash.
He just walked. He just walked the mile with me. My daughter, Emma. Emma, can you come over here and say hi?
Come stand with Mom.
Can you say hi?
Turn around. There you go.
Emma, she just walked it also. And my mother-in-law. Can you come over here, please? I'm sorry. This is my mother-in-law, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
She just walked it with us also. And
so lots of support.
Lots and lots of support from this town, and we really, really appreciate it. I can't say thank you enough from this community. So,
well, congratulations on getting this far. I know you're a hard worker, and I'm sure you'll reach for further lengths as you keep going. So keep working. Congratulations, and thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Later in the day, on Halloween, there was a dog costume parade and contest at Family Pet Hospital in Ashland, celebrating some newly renovations and expansion that they've done. Thanks to Todd for going out and getting the footage from this fun event.
Everybody smile.
Hi, I'm so excited that everyone showed up at this grand opening. This is a big, big dream for me, and I just can't wait to fill this place up with little dogs in the kennel or in here in the daycare area. This was a fun event, and thank you everyone for coming, and thank you for your support.
He likes the cookies.
It's dog cookies.
Our last part for our arts and entertainment around the town is we're actually going over to Holliston to speak with some of the cast members of Crimes of the Heart. It's a play being put on by the Washington Street Players, but two of the actors, one, Colleen, currently lives in Ashland, and another, Brad Walker, was born and raised in Ashland. So let's cross the border and go take a look at Crimes of the Heart.
Do you remember my birthday every year like you do? Oh, well, now that's just the way I am, I suppose. That's just the way I was brought up to be. Well, why don't you go on and open up the present? It's a box of candy, assorted creams. Candy, that's always a nice gift. And you have a sweet tooth, don't you? I guess. Well, I'm glad you
Well, Around the Clock has taken a little bit of a field trip. We are in Holliston at the Holliston Town Hall. We are here with Colleen Locke and Brad Walker. Colleen currently lives in Ashland, and Brad was born and raised in Ashland. So the reason we're sharing their story with you today is because of that tie to Ashland. We are here to watch them in the Washington Street Players' Crimes of the Heart. Colleen, tell us your character and a little bit about her.
Sure. So I play Chick Boyle. She is the first cousin of the three McGrath sisters, who are the central characters in this production. Each of them has committed a crimes of the heart, which will come out during the course of the play. And Chick is the bossy, nosy, gossipy, annoying cousin that lives next door. And for the audience, she also provides a lot of exposition, which means background to what's going on. So the author is giving you clues as to what these characters are all about through her actions. And she's a lot of fun to play.
Good. And Brad, what's your role?
My role is Doc Porter. I play the scorned former lover of Maggie McGrath and also the temporary owner of the farm next door, which houses Lenny's dead horse.
So, Colleen, tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in Ashland and why you do theater.
So I've been in Ashland for 5 years, and I've been doing community theater ever since I was 6. My dad has directed productions, and I prompted for 1776 and also turned pages when the accompanist would nod her head. So that's how I got my start. And since then, we did a lot of shows together, and as I have moved on into my adult life, everywhere I go, as long as the job permits, I try to do some theater and love doing behind the scenes, but I love being on stage too.
And what do you do for a real job?
So I work at UMass Boston in the Office of Communications as a digital communications editor. So I train people on how to use the website, also write a lot of stories and produce videos.
Okay. And Brad, how did you get involved in theater?
It started in high school. I used to play sports. I played football, and I had an injury that meant that I couldn't play anymore. And I needed something to do to keep me out of trouble, and theater provided that opportunity for me. So I studied theater in college at Washington University in St. Louis before returning to Massachusetts.
Okay, I'm going to take that back. Now, you've been with Washington Street Players for a few years. How many productions have you done with them?
4? I'm checking with my director. 4.
And Colleen, this is your first production.
Yep, it is my first production.
Okay. If there's something you could tell the audience about why they should come and watch the show, what would you say?
I just think there's no better way to have a nice night out and to experience some culture than with a night with a theater. It's great for us to be able to play different characters, and we hope that we can tell you a story that's going to give you some sort of emotion. So for me, I want to make you laugh. For other people, hopefully pull on your heartstrings.
Okay. Brad?
Well, you get an opportunity to see a great cast working with a great crew on a beautiful set, and the show is really funny, and it's got heart in all the right places.
Well, Brad, Colleen, thank you for talking with me, and good luck on the run. I hope you come join us out at the Holliston Town Hall for Crimes of the Heart. It's being performed 2 weekends, the 6th and 7th of November, as well as the 13th and 14th. We hope to see you at the show. Well, that's it for our Around the Town plus arts and entertainment for this episode of Around the Clock. But, as always, there's great things going on here in Ashland. So let me fill you in on a few things that are coming up. If you're looking for something fun to do, try the Ashland Education Foundation Casino Night, which is being held at Kelly's on Friday, November 13th. It's a fun way to raise funds for the Ashland Education Foundation grant program. You can go online to their website to order tickets, and it's only $20, and you get some Ashland Education Foundation fund money to spend at the casino. Town meeting is coming up on Tuesday, November 17th, and as we discussed with Town Manager Tony Schiavi earlier in the show, the warrant is now available online, so you can go ahead and read through and ask questions that you may have at one of the town forums that's happening on Tuesday, November 10th. Unfortunately, it's short notice from this show, but hopefully you've seen other information letting you know about the forum happening on November 10th. The night after town meeting, there is a Sip, Shop, and Save event being sponsored by the Ashland PTO, and that is happening at the Amazing Thing Arts Center in Framingham. And then, of course, the weekend of November 19th, 20th, and 21st, we have the Ashland Community Theater's therapy sessions, which we spoke about just recently with Joe White and Kelly Shander Reynolds, who wrote the play together. Also, there's town committee meetings happening every night. Also going back a little bit, on Wednesday, November 18th, the 8th grade and Ashland High School band concert is happening at the Ashland High School. One of the last things, and this is a little further out, that's something coming out, is the Comprehensive Plan Advisory Group will be hosting a community forum on Monday, December 7th at the Community Center to get feedback on the goals and strategies for about 4 areas of the comprehensive plan. And that will be starting at 6:30. So that's our what's coming up in the month ahead. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with our final thoughts here on Around the Clock.
You know, the gill straps aren't really moving. They're being robbed. These crooks know the gill straps are out of town, so they're trying to move the gill straps permanently. They figure they look like movers, they act like movers, so who's gonna know? The Joneses. They know.
Dad, aren't the gill straps in Toledo?
I think they're being robbed. Should we call the police? Call the police. See, the Joneses know. If they don't tell the cops now, the gill straps will have to tell them later.
Hello, this is Harry.
Meanwhile, these fellas are eating lunch, about a block away.
21.
Hey, hot pastrami. That looks very good.
35 in progress. 10-4. Take it easy, huh?
How about that? Know what it takes to stop a crime? Your help and your neighbors. Find out more. Write to Box 6600, Rockville, Maryland, and help take a bite out of crime.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Around the Clock. I want to say a special thanks to Tony Schiavi, our town manager, for speaking with us, and Joe White and Katie Shander Reynolds from Ashland Community Theater. Please remember to come to town meeting on Tuesday, November 17th, and be part of the democratic process. If you ever have a story you think your fellow Ashland residents would be interested in seeing and hearing about, reach out to us here at WACA-TV, and we can maybe make it as part of Around the Clock. Well, enjoy the rest of your month, and thanks for watching.
Street safety is a communal effort.
So be smart. Use the sidewalk when one is available. If not, stay on the shoulder and face traffic so cars can see you. And remember, a 15-minute walk a day can keep your body and mind on point.
Be aware while driving. Avoid distractions like turning the radio on, texting, and talking on the phone.
We have a right to the road too. If there are no bike lanes, just use the side of the road and don't try and squeeze between cars. If your destination is close enough, just bike it. It's a healthier alternative to driving.